I'm reading a book called Children of God, which is about, I forget the name of the author, but it's about a religious cult, because I'm working on a film at the moment called The Lodge, and it's appropriate to that film, but it's non-fiction. Yeah, it is kind of fascinating, and it sort of taps into, Scientology and other broader cults and more narrow-minded cults, and it's just interesting to see, again, through the eyes of a woman, and through the suppression, usually of the female, which sustains the cult for some reason. Because of the work that I've done today, I'm going to choose 5 literary characters. So I'm going to say Angela Carter, Margaret Atwood, Virginia Woolf, Simone de Beauvoir, and Charlotte Bronte, and the cook and the butler is going to be Sigmund Freud. Living inside a book. I'm going to pick an Angela Carter book. I'm going to say The Company of Wolves, just because it's so prominent in my head for today. I have found that her kind of flipping of society just the most fascinating thing at the moment, and the idea of this ideological story structure of a fairy tale, but the sort of stepping into the darkness rather than the light, I think would be fascinating. So yeah, I tend to take off. Yeah, I do take off my shoes, and I take off a belt, and I have lots of water and hot drinks kind of lined up. And I also have to have the reading material at a certain height, and obviously the microphone's set up. The air conditioning needs to be off. That's about it. The child of Ian McKellen and Stephen Fry, I think, would make the most incredible voice. But Ian McKellen had a very magnetic voice. You could be in a room full of people, and if he was speaking, your ear would just focus on what he was saying. He just has a very gentle tone, but it's quite unique and remarkable. So, men's downhill Super G.
Just because it looks amazing.
Just because it's like super fast, and or the ski cross. It's not been in the Olympics that long, but it's when there's 4 skiers race each other, and they nearly take each other out. Yeah, no, I'm definitely a downhill skier, but if I'd started maybe 20 years ago, I could probably be there, but no. Maybe I've done one today. I would probably say I'd like to do Merlin, actually. Okay. And I would do Merlin as Ian McKellen. Or the fox from Pinocchio. Audiobooks that I would recommend. I would definitely recommend what we read today, the Angela Carter. But also something that I read recently called The Tattooist of Auschwitz, which I think, as we talked about earlier, it's even though it's a kind of quite a dark story set in rather a horrific place, there is such a kind of bubble of light and humanity set in the middle of it. It was a real surprise to me, and the way that the story was captured by the author is also equally fascinating.